back to Real Christianity with Rev Kev. Yaki yaki. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please do, and hit that little bell to get a notification. Today I want to talk about one of those difficult things that the Bible talks about that's tough for those in real Christianity to live out. There's a verse in the book of James that says, "Count it all joy when you encounter trials and tribulations." Now, this is tough on many levels. One of them is that Christians should be known by their love, we talked about that previously, and their joy, but not this kind of happiness in their circumstances, but a deep down joy and kind of firm grasp on a future, on a foundational kind of feeling or what is settled in our being, not this momentary happiness, but real joy. Christians should be known by that. So the Bible says you should be known by your love and joy, not just joy in everyday life, but that verse says joy in difficulty. That is really tough to do. I think part of the way to reframe how does a Christian live out joy in their difficulty is to change our expectations. Jesus lived a really difficult life. He was a God who became human, stepped down into human flesh. That has got to be such a radical change that we can't even imagine. And then not only did he become human, but he lived in this sinful, broken world. He walked through life sinless, but was rejected by the disciples, ultimately beaten and crucified. Life was not easy for Jesus, but the book Hebrews says, for the joy before him, he endured the cross. Not happiness, but a joy in connecting people back with the Father. That's that foundational feeling that I mentioned. Not joy in our circumstances, but knowing that God's got this. Having joy in those difficulties is not easy, but we've got to remember Jesus went through difficulty, and Paul, though he was beaten, flogged, beaten with rods, whipped 5 times with lashes, shipwrecked, he writes in 2 Corinthians 11, I've gone through all those things, but still later on he said, but these are light and momentary afflictions in light of eternity. One thing Paul was saying, and one way to have joy in our circumstances is realizing this world is not our home. It's difficult here. It was difficult for Jesus. It was difficult for Paul. It should be difficult for us. But knowing that this is just a short time here, the Bible talks about us going through difficulty so that we are shaped to be more like Jesus, so that others might see the joy in us, and hopefully that in our words might draw other people to Jesus. Joy in difficulty, not easy. It's not about happiness, but it's about getting our priorities set in a different way and focusing our eyes on Jesus. Yaki yaki.